Some of you probably know, some of you probably wonder sometimes, sorry, I gotta put this down, week to week what the status is of my life. I guess you would say I am in a spiritual mismatched relationship. My husband and I have been married for 31 years in June. Hard to believe it, same as Gib and Sue actually. That's kind of fun. We have children who are 27 and 24. Kevin asked me about doing this yesterday, but I said, you know what, even if I prepare something, I'm not one of those people who's going to follow it, so please bear with me. When I met my husband, we actually met at a choir exchange that many years ago, 30-some years ago. And I didn't think about it as being a spiritual mismatch. He was, see, I can't say mismatch either. He was involved in the church. Our choir directors did an exchange. They were in Toronto and we were in Victoria Harbour, and we did a choir exchange, and that's when I first met him. And our families continued to interact with each other for years, and then we kind of went our separate ways and got to know each other again several years later. At that time when I met him, I was involved in music then. A Joyful Noise was a music group out of Victoria Harbour, St. John's United Church, and at some points he actually was up on stage with me doing that. You kind of look back and go, wow. So it's not like I knew that there was going to be a mismatch as such, but I've learned over the years that his faith is different, I guess. I had to kind of cringe at some of Elise's messages, or parts of her message. I have dragged my kids to church for many years. We moved around many times, and the kids went to church with me every week, week after week, moaning and carrying on until we moved back here. We lived in the United States for 7 years, and then when we came back, we started going to church, and I went church shopping. I did. I grew up around here, but the church that I grew up in didn't fit me anymore, so I had to find a place that I fit. And so my kids came with me, and then when I settled on Covenant, they were tired of the whole scene at that point, church shopping and going and not knowing people and so on. I can say that over the years, my family has supported me. They know how important it is to me. They don't begrudge me of that. They actually encourage me and support me and remind me, and that's neat. I'm not sure sometimes why my family doesn't come with me. The only thing, in pondering this, I thought my husband has some social anxiety. I realized that's an issue. When we were living in Saskatchewan, he actually was best friends with the pastor. He was a friend to our pastor, who was from Ontario and was very unhappy out there, and they became good friends, and so our families interacted. Over the years, we've interacted with other families. He tends to be a one-friend kind of a guy, I guess, and so we've always been involved with other families. In Phoenix, I guess it was our daughters that got us together, and the other couple we got to know did go to church somewhat, but she was more of a churchgoer than he was. When we went to Las Vegas, we actually ended up being connected with a Jewish family, and she just was always asking me questions. We became very close, did things on weekends together, and I guess I can say, as much as maybe my husband's faith doesn't show like mine does, it's not as obvious, it is there. It's the love that he shows, taking people in. We have taken teenagers into our house that lived with us for a couple of years since we've been back in this area. Recently, my husband and my family were the ones to say, have your mom come back here. She lived with us for 10 years. We went west, and she was living with another sister. Recently, my husband said, you know what, have her come back here. I think she'll be happier. So she's since returned to live with us, and that was not my doing. That was their doing. Both of my husband and my children said, you know what, have her come back. What can I say? I don't want to go on too long. Covenant has spoken volumes to my family, between having to be recipients of the benevolent fund, which we took collection for today. We have received that, and that speaks volumes to my family when my husband has been out of work. When we were moving, my small group came and helped me clean and repair. Our house was in disrepair, and they came. I think last year, Gib and Sue came and tilled the garden for us, and so my husband has opportunities to meet with some of these people, and so I can say that this place is amazing. When you hear me up here sometimes, as I'm on worship team, I'm speaking from my heart because I think it's so important that Covenant be a welcoming place. Elise spoke, I think it was last week, about not judging, and I think we're so good at that. I think anybody can come through these doors and feel welcome, and that's so important to me. Just a minute ago, I was thinking about a song that we used to sing, again, back in the 70s. They'll know we are Christians by our love. And for me, I think that's what speaks the most volumes, is that we show love to our families and that we show love to the people we work with. Again, don't be judgmental, but be loving. And I guess, again, the song we just sang, The Blessing, I was looking at that and thinking, every week I get to come here and God blesses me that I can go out and be a blessing to my family and to the people around me. I think that's it.